Okay, let's dive into this. Right now, over in Nigeria, there's this absolutely unprecedented regulatory sweep going on. The Corporate Affairs Commission, the CAC, they're executing a massive cleanup operation. But look, this explainer isn't just your standard news update. No, it is a critical, highly time-sensitive survival guide. We're talking about how to literally save 100,000 businesses from just being wiped off the map. 100,000. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the staggering number of companies actively sitting on the chopping block right as we speak. The CAC has officially put 100,000 businesses on notice for imminent deregistration. I mean, this isn't some hypothetical scenario or, a gentle nudge to do better. This is a massive structural purge happening right now. And our goal with this explainer is to make absolutely sure you've got the exact information you need so your business doesn't become just another casualty in this sweep. Now, what's really interesting here is the definitive language the CAC is using in their official statements. They're stating plainly that they have begun another round of striking off names, right? They aren't just issuing warnings anymore, they are already taking action, and they're doing the whole shebang with absolute legal backing. Specifically, they're executing this operation under the strict provisions of Section 692, subsections 3 and 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020. That legislation basically grants them the full, unquestionable authority to just clean house. But, what does that terminology actually mean? Bureaucratic jargon can sometimes kind of soften the reality of a situation, so let's break it down really clearly. Striking off is an administrative action used by the CAC to permanently remove a company's name from their official register. Essentially, it means your company is erased from the official books, gone. It is the corporate equivalent of losing your legal identity and just being wiped from the system entirely. So what are the actual consequences of this action? Well, they are severe, they're immediate, and they're absolutely business-ending. If your company is struck off, you face an instant loss of your legal right to do business in Nigeria. No official contracts, corporate bank accounts, completely blocked. Government and financial services are entirely gone. Plus, it becomes totally illegal for you to even pose as a registered company. Literally, your operations grind to a complete and total halt. And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between compliance and non-compliance. A registered business, operates smoothly. It enjoys built-in trust from partners and clients, it executes valid contracts, and it maintains active flowing bank accounts. But a struck-off business? That is completely stripped of its operational power. No legal rights, frozen accounts, and completely unable to operate. It is a catastrophic shift from total security to complete paralysis. Part 1. The root cause. Why exactly is the CAC targeting these businesses? Well, the primary reason is crystal clear, and it really just comes down to long-term compliance. The CAC's overarching mandate, right, is to maintain a clean, accurate, and trustworthy public registry of all corporate entities. Right now, they're actively clearing out ineligible companies that have severely failed to comply with basic regulations. Specifically, they're zeroing in on businesses that have neglected to file their annual returns and left their records outdated for over 10 years. 10 years. If a company has essentially been ghosting the government for a decade, the CAC is using their legal power to strike it out. Let's move to part 2 and see how this builds. How to save your business, your urgent action plan. Okay, the clock is ticking, and the most vital number you need to remember right now is 90. The CAC has published the names of the affected companies, and they have granted a very strict, non-negotiable 90-day ultimatum. This 90-day window is your one and only chance to respond, regularize your paperwork, and rectify your corporate status before that final strike-off is permanently executed. So the crucial point is exactly how you use those 90 days. The CAC has laid out a precise 3-step rescue plan that you absolutely must follow perfectly to save your business. Step 1. You've got to immediately file all of your outstanding annual returns to clear your backlog. Step 2, you must regularize and comprehensively update all your company records. And finally, step 3, and listen, this is the absolute pro tip here to actually save your entity. After you file and update, you must actively forward the evidence of your compliance directly to the CAC. You can't just pay the fees and assume the system's going to update itself, okay? You must formally submit the proof to the commission. Now, while you're executing step 2 of that plan, I really want to highlight a highly specific detail that is incredibly easy to overlook when you're in a rush. The CAC mandate explicitly states that you must update the records concerning the specific individuals who control the company. Ensuring that the ownership and control data is perfectly accurate, transparent, and totally up to date is a strict requirement of this whole regularization process. So whatever you do, do not miss this granular detail when you're updating your corporate files. You really have to get this right because the stakes here are absolute. Listen to the CAC's official warning on this. Companies failing to comply within the stipulated timeline will see their name struck off the register without further notice. I really want to reinforce the absolute finality of this statement. There is no grace period after the deadline expires. There's no second warning letter coming in the mail. If you fail to forward that evidence of compliance within the 90 days, your business entity is gone forever. No way around it. The regulatory landscape in Nigeria is tightening fast, and honestly, the margin for error has completely disappeared. This massive sweep proves that the days of just ignoring annual returns are over for sure. It all comes down to a clear choice of compliance. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to consider today. Will your business survive the next 90 days? The path to saving it is clearly laid out, but the ultimate responsibility to take immediate, decisive action rests entirely with you. Don't wait until it's too late.